welcome to day 4 of Vacation Bible School. We're here on the farm again, gathering up the fruits of the Spirit together. Day 1, we gathered love. Day 2, we gathered joy. Day 3, we gathered peace. And today, day 4, we are gathering patience. Ooh, patience. That's something I always remember my mom used to tell me to have, and I was not always very good at having patience. Are you a patient person, or is that maybe a fruit of the Spirit you need to work on a little bit more? Well, either way, I hope you're excited to be on the farm and gather up some patience today. We'll talk a little bit more about patience. We'll hear a story later about a time that a father was patient with his son. And that'll be great, and maybe that'll help us figure out how we can be more patient. Before we move into the next section here and go see what some of our friends have for us, let's do today's memory verse. Yay! I know it's your favorite part. You're so excited. So today's memory verse goes like this. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. I'm going to say it again. Are you ready? Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. That's great. And I hope that we are patient with one another, and we're going to have a great day today, so I hope you're excited. Let's go see what's in your bags for day 4.
Hello kids, welcome to VBS Online, day 4. I moved the table. In your bag you will have this weird pink thing, some more shoelace, this weird heart thing. It looks like a bone. And these white felt triangles. Oh, there's more. And some googly eyes. That's all in the bag, day 4.
Well, all right. Let's talk about patience. But before we get into today's story that's going to teach us about patience, let's do that memory verse one more time. What do you think? All right. It goes like this. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Did you get it? Okay. Well, today's story is about a father who had 2 sons, and he lived on a farm. And they were doing really well. They were making so much money on their farm. He was a wealthy man, and his 2 sons helped him on the farm and worked with him. And the older brother worked especially hard. But one day, the younger brother came up to his father and said, "Father, I demand my inheritance." Now, an inheritance, if you don't know, is what you would receive when your parents die, when they pass away. Any of their possessions, any of their wealth might go to you. You might inherit it. All right? So the son was coming up to the father and saying, "Father, I know you're not dead yet, but I want my money as if you were, so that I can leave this farm and go live the life of luxury that I desire." He wanted to be comfortable. He wanted to indulge in all sorts of pleasurable things, and he was just out of his mind. He didn't want to work on the farm anymore. It was too hard. The labor was too hard. He wanted to live differently. Now, his father had every right to say, "No, absolutely not. That is not yours until I die, and then you get your inheritance, and your brother gets his inheritance. Right now, you need to work on the farm with me." But he didn't say that. Instead, he gave his son his inheritance. He gave him all the money that he would have got when his father passed away. Even though he did nothing to earn it, he didn't deserve it in that moment. he was being a little bit bratty even, and probably deserved some kind of punishment for it. But no, his father's patient with him, and kind, and gives him what he asks, because he loves his son. So what does his younger son do? He takes this money, and he leaves, and he goes to far-off lands, and he gets involved with all sorts of things he could have never gotten involved with on the farm. He doesn't do any hard work. He's living on easy street, baby. He's got nothing to worry about. And he spends all of that money. Can you believe it? All of it. He spends every last cent. And so now he's got nothing. He's got no money left. He wasn't patient, he didn't wait, he didn't work hard. And so he's left with nothing. And so he couldn't feed himself. He had no place to sleep. And he found himself sleeping with pigs. Ew. And we got pigs on the farm, and they're dirty. You ever been with pigs? They don't exactly smell the best. You know what I mean? And not only did he sleep with the pigs, but he would eat the food that the pigs would eat. Have you seen what the pigs eat? It's slop. It's all the gross leftovers that are just like become like the mush. It's gross, and he would eat that. It was better to him to eat that than to continue to eat nothing. That's how hungry he was. And one night he was laying amongst the pigs, and he remembered, he goes, oh my gosh, everybody that works on my father's farm has so much better of a life than this. I know I can't go back and ask him to be his son again. I've done a horrible thing. I've basically said I wished he was dead. I took all his money, I went and I spent it all. But maybe I can go back and ask him for a job. And maybe I can work on his farm like any other worker. And that would be a better life for me than sleeping among the pigs and eating this slop. And so he goes home, and the entire way home, he's planning, he's thinking, he's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say to my father to convince him to give me a job? I've done such a horrible thing to him. How could he ever forgive me? I wouldn't forgive me. And he's coming up close to the farm, and the father sees him coming from a distance off. And his father runs out of the house, and he runs down the road, and he comes up to his son. And what do you think he did? Do you think he yelled at him? Do you think he told him to get out of here? He had his inheritance. Go, take yourself somewhere else. No. Father ran down to his son and he hugged him. He hugged him so tight and tears came down his eyes, and he said, I'm so happy my son has come home. And he brought him back into the house. And no, he didn't just make him another worker. He made him his son again. And they were going to have a whole party to celebrate his coming home, because his son, who had gone astray and left them all behind, had learned his mistake and come home to be with the family. Now, the father in this story is showing us great patience and great love. He did not get angry with the son when he wanted to take his money and go. He waited patiently for years for his son to come home, gone for years, working on the farm without him. And then when his son does come home, he could easily be angry and just yell at him, but he doesn't. He shows love and patience again and embraces him and welcomes him back into the family, back into the farm. This is the kind of love, this is the kind of patience we are supposed to have with one another. And it really stinks because it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. There are always gonna be people who just make you mad. Just get under your skin. Maybe they are family. Maybe it's family you don't always agree with. Maybe it's friends and you get into a fight and you just get so mad at each other. Maybe it's a stranger who says something or does something and it just really irritates you. And you just want to get angry and scream and yell at people. Or hit them or whatever your response to anger is. But God says, stop. Take a step back. Breathe. And remember to feel love. Love like God feels love for you. And look at that person and have patience with them. They may not be right, but you can still love them where they are. You can be patient and wait for them to learn their own mistakes, just like the father in our story waited for his son to come home. And maybe you're somebody who's done something wrong. Maybe you're like the son, and you're wondering how anybody can have that kind of patience or love for you. I promise you, no matter what you've done, God loves you. God is so patient with all of us. And He's always with us, no matter where we go or how awful we sometimes might be. He's always with you. He always loves you. He's always waiting to run out of the house to come down and embrace you and tell you that you're part of the family. So feel the love of God in your life. Learn the lesson of patience from the Father and the Son. Take that fruit of the Spirit, patience, and make it a reality in your life. Take this with you as we go into our next section. We're going to head over to the craft table. We're going to see what we're making today, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go see what we're making.
All right, hi everybody. Welcome back to day 4. So, if you had a lot of money, what would you do with it? Jesus told a story once about a young man who got a lot of money and left his father's farm. He wasted his money on parties, though. He had to get a job feeding pigs. He was so hungry, he wanted to eat the pigs' food. Finally, he went home and he apologized to his father. His father forgave him and welcomed him home. God is like that father. When we are sorry for the wrong things we've done, God always forgives us. So today we are going to make a little piggy pocket that we could hold some of our money in. So we will have a bunch of black yarn, 2 big pink pieces that are clipped together, and it's very important that we keep this clip on the whole time until I tell you to take it off. This little pink piece, 2 of these lighter pink pieces, this pink piece, 2 Google eyes, glue, a black marker, and you will also need a pair of scissors from home. So the very first thing we're going to do is take these 2 big pink pieces, and you'll notice that they have little holes cut in the sides. You're going to take your yarn, and we are going to sew it together. So we're going to start on the one side, thread the yarn through, pull it out. Most of the way, but not all the way. Make sure to leave a tail on this side. Then you're going to take the yarn wrapped around the same side and put it through the next hole so that it wraps around like this. I'm going to bring it around again and put it through the next hole. We have a little piece of tape on the end of this yarn so it's easy to get it through. And we're going to wrap it around again. From the same side, bring it through, and it's going to look like this, and you're going to keep doing that all the way around. Now when you have it all sewn together like that, you're going to take and you're going to go back through the last loop, and pull it tight to make a little knot. Now, you are going to want to leave this tail long, and you're going to take the other tail from before, and you're going to tie them in a knot, or maybe even a double knot if you want to make sure that it stays together. And you pull it tight, and that makes the strap for a bag. Now we'll take those scissors, trim off the ends, and our bag is all done, but it doesn't look very much like a pig yet, so we're going to fix that. So now you can take off that paper clip from before, and you're going to take this weird piece, looks a little bit like a bone, and you're going to take a dab of glue, and stick it right about here. Next, you're going to take this piece, looks a little bit like a heart. Another dab of glue. And stick it right on top of that first piece to make our piggy's nose. Then we're going to take these two little pieces. Another little dab of glue. And that'll be our piggy's ears. And finally, our Google eyes. And there's our pig's face. And for the finishing touch, you're gonna take your black marker and you're gonna draw two little circles on his nose. And there's our little piggy purse.
Hey again, everybody. You know, I hope you had a really good time today. Today's video is probably a little bit longer than the past ones, but I hope you've been able to have some patience this morning as we've been working through everything that we're talking about today. Patience is that fruit of the Spirit that we've been gathering up, and we learn all about it in our memory verse. Let's do it one more time together. Are you ready? Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Did you get it that time? I bet you did. All right, friends. Today's song that is going to be linked down at the bottom of the video in the description, just like every day before this, is called Hold On. Because that's what we do when we're patient, right? We just stop and we hold on for a moment. So hold on. If there's a link to the YouTube video down in the video's description, you just go click on it. It'll take you right over to that video. Make sure you watch it a couple of times, dance around to it, force your parents to come dance to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope you had a really good day and you learned something about being patient. So until tomorrow, friends, I'm patiently waiting to see you.